I start my speech, I would like to make a simple request to anyone listening right now. Think of the word perfection. What does that word mean to you? The official definition of perfection is the state of completion, of being totally correct. However, it may vary to different people. Some may think of it as the thought you get when you finally draw the perfect circle, or others may think it's the feeling that you feel when you finally finish your notes without any grammar or spelling mistakes. It's the simplest things that make us feel more whole, more complete, more perfect. But what if you're a student? Does your perspective on perfection shift at all? And in that case, should the concept of being perfect even be considered in the first place? I don't think so, which is what I'll be talking about today. A student's life is guaranteed to have bumps in the road, whether from others or from themselves. Students are bound to feel pressure wherever they go. But you might ask, pressure from what? A student's life is so much simpler and easier compared to the working class. And that, my friends, is exactly how students feel pressure in the first place. Comparisons to peers, colleagues, seniors, juniors, even strangers that you've never met before. When you're surrounded with people who constantly achieve high marks with many awards and medals and praises left and right, of course, you're gonna feel happy for them. But there's no helping that lingering thought in the back of your mind. Why wasn't I as good as them? Why wasn't I better than them? Why wasn't I the best? Why was I not perfect? Us students are nurtured and conditioned to believe that the only way that we could ever accomplish something is to accomplish and achieve the impossible. Total perfection. I'm not saying that the education system directly tells us that we need to be perfect, but let us be candid. Even if we're not told so, that is what is usually expected from us. If you need to reach those standards, which are high, then you must erase any mistake, any flaw, any imperfection that you possess. And I don't mean the little stutters you make during your presentations or the spelling errors in your essays. I mean the things that make you unique, an individual, that make you, you. Like how you convey yourself, how you express yourself, how you show yourself, how you speak on the stage. That's what they expect from you. I have experienced firsthand how the pressure of being a perfect student ultimately became my worst downfall. I was always told to follow the book to the T, follow the rules, and I'll make something of myself. So I did. I was the role model, the teacher's pet, and became the living embodiment of that girl next door, not in a romantic sense. And my mindset was not positive at all. I just thought to myself, a couple more years of keeping up with the act, couple more years of being who they want me to be, and I'll finally find myself, live a future where I could love myself. I talked how they wanted me to talk. I wrote how they wanted me to write. I acted how they wanted me to act. I became everything but
Phải công nhận rằng bây giờ
myself.
chúng ta xây một cái kênh affiliate bằng AI.
However, a couple years of pressure, anxiety, and self-hatred piling up, I had reached my breaking point. Sobbing out loud the moment I faced the smallest, tiniest bit of criticism, having a full-blown panic attack when I did a presentation and forgot one word, and becoming someone that I hated. I had turned into the person that I detested and hated the most. A mistake, a failure, the most imperfect, defected version of who I am. It took me a while to come to terms with the fact that I didn't need to be perfect, that I just needed to do my best. And to be honest, I still struggle with having to manage this emotion. Right before coming on the stage, I even asked myself, was the script good enough? Will I be able to convey my thoughts in a way that people will understand? Will people even listen to me? And I believe that ultimately has shaped me into becoming the person I am today. However, I strongly believe that nobody, and I mean nobody, should ever have to face that sort of pressure, anxiety, self-hatred to be able to define who you are, to understand yourself, to love yourself. To love yourself isn't through hating you. You shouldn't struggle before you finally know who you are. You shouldn't hate yourself before finally coming to terms with who you'll become. Your life is simply a blank canvas. Any mistake, any flaw, any imperfections that you possess is simply your trademark as the artist. Imperfections don't hold you back from becoming the best that you can be, but actually push you forward into finding out who you are, into loving yourself, to seeing you as a unique individual. Imperfections are what helps us to grow and become the best version of ourselves. And in that logic, imperfections are what makes us perfect. Thank you for listening.